Well, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's time for my 2014 college previews to resume for football. Talking about the Minotaur now, Los Angeles and Southern Cal. That's right, the USC Trojans. And of course, last season, 10-4. That was their record. Went through 3 head coaches. And this year, it's going to be a different head coach. Steve Sarkisian, who coached there, believe it or not, a few years ago when Pete Carroll was there when they were winning those national championships. Sarkisian was an assistant back then. Sarkisian has coached at Washington recently, did a decent job there. Not a great job, but a decent job. And USC offense, get ready because changes are about to happen. It's going to be up-tempo. It's going to be no huddle. It is going to be an offense that might run as many as 80 to 85 plays per game. Nothing like they've been used to in the past. Quarterback-wise, it looks like Cody Kessler will be returning at quarterback. Max Brown, the up-and-coming quarterback for USC, it looks like Kessler has held on to his job for now. Kessler, although not a strong arm, was accurate, especially down the stretch just a year ago after USC got off to that rough start and Pat Hayden, the athletic director, fired Lane Kiffin after the Arizona State game. We saw the team play a lot better, and Kessler at quarterback played a lot better as well. But he's got to do better in the big ball games. It's going to be the big thing for him. Looking at receiver-wise, you do return Nelson Agholor, who's not only a quick and explosive receiver, but also great on special teams. Big difference this year is that last year, defenses weren't really all that focused as much on him as they will be this time, because last year USC had a deeper cast as far as wideouts, of course, Marquise Lee being among them. Of course, Lee is now in the NFL. So Agholor has to get more help from other guys this time. That's going to be a key. Running back-wise, I think this team is going to be just fine with Buck Allen. It's also Trey Madden. The guys combined last year for about 1,400 yards rushing. So I think the running back game's set. Offensive line, majority of starters are back, but the guys they don't have back have to be replaced, and don't be surprised if USC relies on true freshmen to fill in those gaps. So that's going to be the big spot right there to watch for, and USC has to do a better job, the Trojans do, at protecting the quarterback. They were not good in that area a year ago, but again, it's going to be up-tempo. And my biggest question for USC is going to be conditioning. They've got to keep themselves in great shape this summer. Hopefully they did that in the spring. If not, the no-huddle, up-tempo offense is not going to work out. Defensively, USC was #1 in the Pac-12 last year when it came to total defense, especially against the run. They were almost impossible to get a good running game against. Leonard Williams, big reason why, he returns at defensive tackle, and don't be surprised, Southern Cal fans, if he does not come back next year, because entering this his junior year, projected to be a top 5 NFL draft pick this upcoming draft, he's that good. Hayes Pollard, he's a veteran. He returns at linebacker, the senior. And also, speaking of seniors, how about the corner? That's Josh Shaw. He returns. And then you also have Sua Cravens. This guy, absolute stud from his safety position. So USC returning 8 starters on the defensive side. And as far as place kicking, Andre Hadari, the place kicker, had a terrific freshman year, but has struggled lately. They've got to rely on his leg. So we'll see how he does. And also, one guy I'm pretty fired up about, if you're looking at up-and-comers, is going to be Adoree Jackson. Will probably be the Deion Sanders of this team. Could play offense, but could play defense as a receiver, but also as a defensive back. Also could play special teams as well. Looking at the schedule for the Southern Cal Trojans, it's actually fairly manageable when you compare them to other schedules throughout the country. Early on, they got to play at Stanford. That's an early September game, but remember, Stanford lost a lot of key players. So USC will actually come in the more experienced team. And remember, the Trojans beat the Cardinal last year, but this time the game's in Palo Alto. The game the following week could be just as concerning because of the fact that you play at Boston College. Not strong on paper, but the following week, that game against Boston College is 3,000 miles. You're playing cross-country against a team that you may not be that fired up to play against. That could spell trap game. And you get the bye week after the Boston College game. You'd rather have it before, but you get it after. And then the games after that really aren't that bad. And it's really who they don't play that sticks out. They don't play Oregon, and they don't play Washington. And by the way, you get Arizona State at home, which is a plus. And the UCLA game, yeah, it's at the Rose Bowl where UCLA calls home. But really, is there a true home field advantage when it comes to the Battle of Los Angeles? And that's not till late in the season anyway. And you host Notre Dame this time. It's been a while since the Trojans have been able to defeat the Fighting Irish. So we'll see how that pans out from the Coliseum late in the season. Best case scenario, hey, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that USC can't win all 12 games and host the Pac-12 championship game. It's not out of the realm of possibility at all. They might be an underdog in a game or two, but they could actually win the whole thing. It's best case. Worst case, it could actually go the other extreme. They could actually be as bad as 7-5. Remember, they're not at that 85 scholarship plateau just yet. This is their final year of probation. They did a good job recruiting, all things considering that Starkisian got there late. He got there in December to be hired head coach, and they still did a decent job of recruiting, but it's not until next year that they get to that 85 scholarship limit, and they're going to be having some true lack of depth in certain positions, and as I mentioned, offensive line especially. So if they get injury prone, that could be a trouble sign, and that could lead to 7-5 right there easily. Likely scenario, I think USC could be just a year away. I got them going 9-3, finishing in second place. As talented as I think they are, UCLA, I think right now is just a little bit better. So I got UCLA winning the Pac-12 South and USC a close second. But I do think Starkisian was the right hire, even though I know a lot of people thought Ed Orgeron should have gotten the job after the job that he did, recovering that team last year after the bad job that Lane Kiffin did there. But Starkisian, I think that offense is going to be good for the Trojans. Hopefully, they got in really good shape to get prepared for it. And I think the Trojans, a 9-3 season, and we'll see, of course, if Leonard Williams, their great defensive player, comes back in 2015. That's my look at the Trojans. Catch you all next time.